Hi, this is Girum Zarg. Welcome back to my adventures. This is session 3 of Dragon of Icespire Peak. In this session, we were traveling through the forest with a mission to deliver a trolley to Logger's camp. It was a 3-day journey. Along the way, we were attacked by these mosquito bat-like birds. There was 4 of them. Turned out they were called sturges. We were able to defeat them, and as we were doing watch along our route during the night, Clovers kept spotting boars and pigs, but no one else seemed to spot them. So we thought maybe Clover, well, maybe she was seeing things. But eventually we ended up at the loggers' camp, and we found that it was empty. There was nobody there. Houses had been burnt, and they had not been burnt recently. There was evidence that they'd been burnt for a while. And we were able to spot the tracks of boars leading towards the center of this camp, and as we investigated, we found a burned out chimney. When we looked inside, we saw humanoid stick figures. So Faen realized they are religious items designed to bring ill fortune to those around them. She cast sacred flame to burn them, and that caused screams. We don't know what it was, but there was things screaming, and the ground shook. Oh my, it was very, very scary. We looked around, and we were able to discover Tibor, a survivor in one of the buildings. He told us that giant insects had come out of the ground and took his crew. That made me a little bit suspicious that how did he survive? But my companions decided that there just wasn't enough evidence to question Tibor, and it looked like he was telling the truth. So we delivered our supplies to Tibor. We also suggested maybe we could help him with his lost crew. And it was decided that if we return to Fandalin, that we can spread news that Tibor needs more crew members. In exchange, he gave us a note as evidence that we delivered the supplies to him. We continued on our journey on our second quest. Remember, we took 2 quests. First was to deliver the supplies to the loggers' camp. The second was to investigate what was happening at Connieberry. Apparently, there was a camp taken over by orcs. On our way to Connieberry, we found Falcon's Hunting Lodge, where we spent the night. We had dinner and we had breakfast. And it was challenging to show manners at the dinner table, but these companions of mine sure scared me into showing manners. Remember, they tried to sell me. They say they were just joking, but I don't want to be sold. So even though it was really hard, I tried my hardest. It took a lot of effort, but I showed some manners at the dinner table. Nobody seemed to complain. Well, I should mention that I disguised myself. I used Mask of the Many Faces, to disguise myself as a dwarf, just in case anybody, doesn't like seeing a goblin. I don't know why people don't like goblins. We're really friendly, if you get to know us. Yeah, and very intelligent, too. So, after we had our dinner, Faen followed, I guess, somebody lurking there, I don't know who it was, towards where they keep their animals, and she saw some horses, and she started petting the horses. The horse, actually, was one horse, and she made friends. That's the first time. Usually when Clover, I think I said Faen. I meant Clover. When it was Clover, usually she scares animals off. Who ever heard of a druid scaring animals off? I think it's because of her appearance. That tiefling sure is scary looking. But she made friends with a horse. She even rode the horse, and boy, was she happy. And Falcon joined us. He said he would accompany us through the forest. And once we got out of the forest, he would point our way to Connieberry and bid us a farewell. And he did that. He allowed Clover to ride the horse during our travel through the forest. That was very kind of him, and Clover sure enjoyed it. Once we parted ways, shortly after, we discovered 2 more horses, and Faen and Clover were able to get those horses. I think they even tamed them. They had a rope tied around their neck and brought the horses back. And so we were able to ride on the horses, as we thought it would be a good idea it would help I guess it would help us get to Connieberry quickly, and I suggested that if we ran into trouble, it would also let us get away quickly, rather than walking or running and getting tired out. So I was on a horse with Faen, and Jorgrass was on a horse with Clover. And both Faen and Clover were having trouble with the horses. Well, it appeared me and Jorgrass were able to keep our balance, and I really enjoyed the ride. I know Jorgrass, he did not like the idea of being on a horse. But eventually we got our horses under control and got to Connieberry. When we got there, the camp looked deserted, so we quietly investigated. And we discovered there were a couple of ruins, a farm, I guess and an outhouse. A farmhouse and an outhouse. And in one of the rooms, we discovered 2 orcs, and we attacked it. I was hoping that we might be able to capture one of them, and that orc might be able to give us some advice, but when it comes to battle, I put those 2 down very quickly, where my companions were having a little bit of difficulty. I told you, we goblins can be very helpful at times. As we moved on, I decided to go see what was happening at this other ruin, while my companions ended up going towards the farmhouse. And in the ruin, I saw another orc. It was a smithy, and he was working on something, and I waited and waited and waited, and finally I decided to go see where my companions were. Luckily, Faen had come out looking for me, I guess, and I motioned to her about the orc that was working, I guess, as a smithy in one of the ruins. She told me to let's go back to the others, and maybe we can make a plan. Plans are always good, and we goblins are really good at making plans, so I thought it was a good idea. So we went and we talked to everyone, and it was decided that maybe taking care of that orc, because it was all by itself, was a better idea than going into the farmhouse that might alert that orc. They also said there was another orc in the outhouse, apparently not feeling very well. And last thing we want to do is attract more orcs. So after we went to the ruin, and we were able to sneak up on the smithy, and I think it was Clover, I think, that was able to get rid of the smithy. We found a couple of great axes. I took one, as they were lined in silver. They might be worth a nice penny selling them. And I think it was it was Jorgrass who took the other, although I'm not sure. I wasn't paying too much attention as I was looking at the axe and how shiny it was and thinking about the money that I could get in selling it. Then we went to the outhouse and we got rid of that orc. And it was smelly, not very pleasant. But, it got one less orc to deal with. Finally, we went into the farmhouse, and we noticed that there was a door leading to the cellar, so we all went in, and in the basement there was another orc. But there was a human, I believe they were guarding. His name was Big Al. And so we were able to beat the orc. We untied Big Al. He was worried that he didn't have anything to fight with, so I gave him the great axe. Hopefully he gives it back once we get rid of the rest of the orcs. He was also looking for his cow Petunia. So we're right now going to be looking, I guess, for first the orcs. Let's get rid of those orcs, and hopefully we might find his cow Petunia for him. And then hopefully Big Al will give me back that great axe that we can sell at Fandetmo and maybe make some money. Also, all these nights that we spent, I never was visited by the genie. I'm hoping it's forgotten me. That would be very nice. It would be a great relief if it forgot me. And I'm starting to I'm really starting to feel comfortable being around Faen. She doesn't treat me as harsh as Clover, and I feel I can open up a little bit to her, but I'm worried about opening up to Jorgrass. Jorgrass saved me, and if he finds out just how scared I am of this genie, I'm worried he might think less of me. And maybe he won't want to. Maybe he won't want to help me as much. I'm not very comfortable right now opening up to Jorgrass. But Faen, she speaks Goblin, so it's really easy to open up to her. I do hope that I don't see this genie anymore. Maybe we scared it off, because my friends did say that they would help me. Maybe we scared that nasty genie off. You picked with the wrong goblin, that's it. Yeah, I told you we goblins, we're intelligent, we're fighters, and we can be scary at times, and I think that genie got scared. Anyways, join me next time when we go and fight those orcs and hopefully find Big Al's Petunia, the cow. Bye!